Hey, Bulls and Bears, it's Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Got a lot of news to catch up on today. Let's figure out what's going on with the economy. Where are we headed? Are people going broke because they're racking up credit card debt like never before? Well, let's take a look at today. The savings rate plunge, that's on the map. We're going to talk about that. Student loan payments still on pause. Why? If there's an economic recovery, if unemployment's so low, everything looks good, why do we still have to keep a pause on student loan payments? Consumers cut back on entertainment spending. NBA attendance actually dropped. Netflix, more layoffs, but Netflix is fighting back. And high inflation, no end in sight. We're going to talk about that and more. Let's start right here. Let's go ahead and start right here. And this is the personal savings rate. And we see this now has dropped to nearly a 10-year low. Now, if you look at the chart in front of us here, we see the big spikes as the shutdowns emerged, as rents were canceled, foreclosures were canceled, stimulus checks sent out. In many cases, utility bills were put on pause. Now, the saving rate is dropping. People are emptying their accounts, their savings accounts, their checking accounts. And sadly, a lot of this was put into the markets. The stock market, other digital assets. And now we see big sell-offs in those markets. So people's net worth, in this case, are plunging. We reported on the $1 billion loss for new investors. That was reported out of Robinhood. New investors over the past 2 years lost a combined billion with a B, $1 billion. So we know this was big wealth destruction for a lot of newbie investors. But with student loans still on pause, people don't have to pay their student loans right now. If that wasn't in place, how much lower would this savings rate be? And look at the enormity of the student loan situation. 46 million Americans roughly are carrying student loan debt. How much worse, how much lower would the savings rate be if people had to start repaying their student loans again? They had to resume payments. Nobody knows, but we might see the savings rate drop to a 20-year low, a 30-year low, an all-time low. Who knows? And this likely explains the drop-off in consumer spending. Many people canceled their Netflix accounts. Netflix saw a loss in their subscribers, and therefore there were layoffs. And there's more layoffs out of Netflix just announced recently. We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes. But also kind of a surprise, NBA game attendance drops. But here's the weird part. Even though attendance is dropping, NBA teams are still charging higher ticket prices. So the fans that love the game, they're going to go no matter what, are still paying these higher prices, and therefore the NBA is still making more money than ever before, even though attendance has dropped, because the people that are going to go are still paying those higher prices no matter what. NBA teams hike ticket prices as attendance drops. So they're actually making more money with lower attendance. I know that's crazy. To me, it sounds crazy, but people love their sports and entertainment, and many people will spend all their money and they'll go broke just to watch some games. And here's a shot here of an arena with a lot of empty seats. Looks like Golden State versus the LA Clippers. So come on, people, let's go out. Let's go give our money to the sports franchises. It helps the economy, and the players can make more money if you go to these games. So please go rush out and get some tickets and go to these events. And how much are people shelling out for these tickets? Let's take a look here out of this article. An average ticket price, NBA game, $109 per ticket. When you can watch it free on television, people are going and paying $109 per ticket. Now, the interesting part of it is these people that went to this game and paid $109, or that's the average price, are they complaining about the high gas prices that they're paying to get to the game while still paying over $100 per ticket? Probably. All right, now still on the topic of some consumers pulling back on their spending. Netflix just announced more layoffs, but they're fighting back. How are they fighting back? Let's take a look. Netflix laying off 150 additional employees as the streaming service contends with big subscriber losses. And here's one of the ways that Netflix is going to fight back. They're estimating that 100 million households are sharing passwords for the Netflix. And they're saying that a global crackdown is coming. So if people can no longer share their password, are they still going to find it a good value? Are they going to still keep the subscription, or will they just cancel it because now they're not getting as much for their money if they can't share the passwords between their friends or their family? A recent article here, Netflix has long ignored password sharing because it's been growing without cracking down on it. But now the company announced it lost subscribers for the first time, and they're going to start the crackdown, and they're going to make people that share passwords pay up. So all of you cheaters out there that have been sharing passwords, shame on you. You hurt the economy and you caused Netflix to lose. Those layoffs, a lot of those are going to be your fault. So no password sharing, shame on you. Now, we see the rising cost of living does appear definitely to be making a dent in the savings rate as it's plunging, even as student loan payments are canceled. So where is the end? This high inflation, where does it end? Is there an end in sight? Well, not really. And it's not just me saying that. Recent article. The AFBF, inflation pain expected to last for years. So it's interesting how the stories changed on this. First, oh, there's no inflation, don't worry about it. Then it was, oh, there's inflation, but it's temporary, it's transitory, it's going to go away. Prices will get back to normal. And now it's, okay, yeah, there's inflation, and it's going to continue, and we might try to fight inflation by raising rates a little bit. Folks, do you really think they're trying to fight inflation with these rate hikes? Take a look at the Fed funds rate. And if we look to the far right here, these recent rate hikes here in 2022 are so minuscule that you can barely even see them on a long-term chart. And this chart goes all the way back to the mid-50s. So if they really wanted to fight inflation, wouldn't you be able to see a bigger uptick in the rate? Well, there's so much debt out there. Everything is so leveraged that the Fed they're trying to walk a very thin line. They're skating on thin ice. They're between a rock and a hard place. It's either crash the markets and send millions of people into default with higher rates, or just do minuscule rate hikes. So inflation is going to continue. And I have to agree here with the AFBF, inflation pain will last for years. And I still expect the second half of 2022, everything is going to start coming to a head, in my opinion. You're going to start seeing big upticks in bankruptcies, and more people, either one, getting foreclosed, or two, selling their homes. The problem with the housing market, I have to keep reminding everybody, there's going to be so many investors out there. Big companies buying up homes are likely not going to see much of a correction in home prices, plus the cost of materials. It's going to continue to rise, going to keep home prices elevated, in my opinion. So inflationary collapse, still in the cards, in my opinion. Please let me know what you think about all this down in comments. Are you one of the naughty people sharing your Netflix password? Shame on you, you caused these layoffs. The student loans on pause. If the economy's so good, why are student loans on pause? How much lower would the savings rate be if those loans weren't on pause? And drop off in NBA attendance. Does all this mean something is happening? Please let me know down in the comments. Thanks everybody for watching. Big love, stay well, keep stacking, stay prepared. Bye for now. Peace.